Hey guys, good morning. It is 11:08 a.m. It is the 29th day in January. We're 2 days away from this first month of 2025 being done as we get ready to enter basically the shortest month of the year, which is February. Whether it's a regular year or a leap year, it is the shortest month, and this year it will be just 28 days. So, for February, that is. But be that as it may, I am here to give you my predictions and, talk about my thoughts on this Saturday's Royal Rumble event. Right now, as far as we know, there are only 4 matches announced. A lot of people have said that's good enough for an event like this because you spread out the time between these matches. You allow them the time to, as a lot of people would say, cook. And just do what they got to do to grab a lot of people's attention, get people talking after it's all said and done. And I do agree with that. This is probably the best, I guess you could say, the best opportunity for them to utilize that chance to allow the talent involved to go out there and show the world what they're capable of, what they can do, and basically get their attention, grab their attention to see whether or not they want to continue watching later on going forward, especially since this begins officially the road to WrestleMania. I mean, I know Paul Levesque, Triple H said that the first Raw on Netflix began the official road, but this is the official in my opinion, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that shares that opinion. This being the official, and you want to, underline that second official, capitalize it, italic it, if you will. You want to, put that word in italic, underline, caps, if you will. Official, I guess you could say, start to WrestleMania. Now, again, 4 matches, again, this is a good number to spread out the time and everything, which, lately they've been trying to hit that sweet spot of a little around 3 hours, or in this case for Rumble, maybe about 3.5. So they want to hit that sweet spot probably at, about 3.5 hours. So that's plenty of time for these matches to, as I said earlier, there's a lot of people like JD from NY206 of Off the Script and Tuesday Night Titans, and just Alex of Alex's World and many others have put it just enough time for them to, really cook and, give you something to talk about as we build towards WrestleMania. The first match, of course, I want to talk about is one that was recently added on SmackDown. It is a 2 out of 3 falls match. It is DIY, the WWE Tag Team Champions on SmackDown. That's the team of Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa defending their tag team belts against the Motor City Machine Guns, the team of Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. And it's, like I said, it's going to be 2 out of 3 falls between them. This is going to be great. This is going to be great because for the first time, I think, in a while, the Tag Team Championships, at least under the WWE moniker, not the World moniker, but the WWE moniker, are being defended. They're being defended on this show or on any premium live event of this magnitude. And I think that's a great opportunity, to showcase, what the tag team division of WWE, the SmackDown brand, is all about. And honestly, I can't think of any 2 teams better to do it with than the team of DIY, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa against, Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, and Chris Sabin. And for the Motor City Machine Guns, the MCMGs, this is a big opportunity for them because this is probably the biggest stage outside of participating in the Wrestle Kingdom at the Tokyo Dome. This is probably the biggest stage they've ever been on because they're going to be in front of about over 60,000, maybe close to 70,000 fans. And that's big. That's big for them. I mean, like I said, they've done it before. They've been in front of, I'm trying to find the right word to say here. They've been in front of crowds close to that in the Tokyo Dome and such. but never of this magnitude. Never of this magnitude. And to me, this is going to be probably the best, opportunity for them to show the world that don't know about them just yet, and why people talk about them. And I'm glad that they're in WWE. This is an opportunity for them to show the world that, hey, this is why people like us. This is why people talk about us. This is why, when they say, we've accomplished a lot around the world and won these championships, this is why. And it's a great opportunity for them, in my opinion. DIY, we know what they're capable of, either as, faces or heels. We know what Johnny Gargano is, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano is capable of. We know what Tommaso Ciampa is capable of, individually and as a team. So again, this is a great matchup, in my opinion. A lot of people are saying that, DIY is probably going to retain, and it does feel like that. It does feel like it might be leaning in that direction. But I'm not going to be surprised if maybe they do give it to the Motor City Machine Guns. At least give them a month run with the championships, and then probably put the belts back on DIY. Because the one thing I've noticed on SmackDown, whether you like SmackDown at 3 hours or not, is they are trying to, build up their tag team division. You got Legado de Fantasma being built up. You got, basically, you got who else? Pretty Deadly. You got Pretty Deadly in there. You got the Street Profits. So they are building up their tag team division as best they can. Of course, like I said, you got DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, and so on. So you got that tag division, kind of up there, if you will. You got that tag division up there, if you will, to where basically they're building enough around it. All right, sorry about that, but like I said, they're building the tag division up to the point, like I said, you got Pretty Deadly being focused, Legado del Fantasma with Los Gaza being showcased. I got the White Six, the White Six there as well. So any combination of that. You got you got the Bloodline. Tama Tonga, Tongaloa when Tongaloa comes back and everything. You got the Good Brothers. When Carl Anderson gets back from injury or gets back from his injury, him and Luke Gallows and everything. You got them. Like I said, you got Tama Tonga, Tongaloa. You got Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu. So you got a decent tag team division. Like I said, you got the Street Profits and all that. So you got a decent division there that's very robust in its own nature. Because again, you got Pretty Deadly, Los Gaza, that's part of Legado del Fantasma. You got when the injury bug is gone from them. You got Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, or Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, Bloodline. You got basically Carl Anderson when he's back from injury, and Luke Gallows, the Good Brothers. So you got tag teams there that will help, really, elevate that division. And putting two of the top teams you have on display here in this magnitude is one way of showing that, hey, our tag team division is getting better and everything. And like I said, for the MCMGs, the Motor City Machine Guns, it is a big opportunity for them to showcase to the world, like I said, who has heard about the accomplishments of what they've done, but don't really know much about them. It's an opportunity to show what they can do. Now, with that said, again, people are leaning towards DIY winning and retaining. I would have to probably go in that direction, but again, you never know. Like I said, they might let the MCMGs win it, but hold it on to Elimination Chamber to where they're drop it back to either DIY or even the Street Profits going forward. But I could definitely see this all culminating maybe with a ladder match or some kind of multi-team match at WrestleMania between them for the WWE Tag Team titles. But I'm gonna be a bit of a betting man here, and I'm gonna say Motor City Machine Guns walk out with the championships to only have them for about a month, and then maybe drop them back to DIY or the Profits, at Elimination Chamber. But that's who I'm going to go with. Now, next match, the other championship match that's going to take place. It is the ladder match for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Both the WWE Championship, the current modern version of the championship, and the Classic Winged Eagle Championship are going to be suspended above the air. It is noted that it's the first time that the Winged Eagle belt is in this kind of predicament, and not the modern day championship, because it's been in that predicament before. But anyway, it is the first time that's ever happened for the Classic Winged Eagle. Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes. This has got some intrigueness to it because, let's be honest. You look at Kevin Owens and you see how he's acting. He's being very Kevin Steen-like and everything, which I'm sure he's happy to finally be able to, be after all this time, because he was under such restrictions when Vince was there that even when he got an opportunity to show a little bit of that Steen side of him, it was held back. So I'm glad. So I'm I'm not just glad, but I'm sure I'm and other fans are glad to see, that along with Kevin, that he's got this opportunity to be, more Steen-like going into this matchup. But the storyline here basically is the fact that obviously Kevin's jealous at all the, paparazzi, all the, glamour and glitz, and pyro and stuff, and, basically all the, I guess you could say, glory that Cody is getting, and he's not. So it's obvious that's part of the story, but also part of the story is Kevin Owens feels, along with that, he feels betrayed. He feels betrayed because just like Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins as well over on Raw, he too feels that Roman Reigns should have no help whatsoever. That whatever comes Roman Reigns' way, whatever comes to Roman Reigns' way, he deserves. He's got coming to him. Which, if you think about it from Kevin's perspective, he's right. Roman did everything in his power to keep his championship. He'd call upon his family to help. He'd, cheat. He'd do this. He'd do that. And I think what this is all going to culminate in eventually is you're going to get Kevin against Roman this year. You're going to get Kevin against Roman this year, unless Kevin is gone from the company, which I don't think he is, because he would have been gone at the beginning of this month. So unless he signed an extension to go up until Rumble, I don't think he's going anywhere, because he's being featured prominently. He's being put back into a Steen-like environment. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he has re-signed. It's just that a lot of people seem to forget that his contract was coming up, but I think he did re-sign before that. They just haven't, really announced that or anything. And I know some people might say, well, you don't know. Maybe they're letting him act this way on his way out. Maybe this is the way of saying thank you for what you've done. And that might be true, but no, he's staying, because they wouldn't be putting him through all this right now just to say, okay, Royal Rumble is your last match in the company, bye-bye. No. They wouldn't be doing that. But yeah, a lot of people, again, though, would agree with Kevin that, he has from his point of view, he has a point. It's like, why, even if you didn't really want to team with him and help him, why did you even, do so? Why did you even associate with Roman and all that? So yeah, again, you can kind of see where Kevin's coming from, but he's going about it the wrong way. Like, he doesn't understand that the reason, Cody was put in that predicament, why Sami was put in that predicament and all that, is mainly because of the fact that there was a bigger threat. And that bigger threat was the Solo Sequoia, led the new bloodline, if you will, the Solo Sequoia, led bloodline of Jacob Fatu, Tambaloa, and Tambatanga. So, so obviously he doesn't see it from that perspective of, hey, yeah, Roman should get everything that's coming to him, but there is a bigger threat, and only he associating with him reluctantly is the only way to do it. So yeah, this is kind of an interesting situation to where you can understand where Kevin's coming from, but you can also see he's taking it taking it about, taking it, I'm trying to find the right words to say here, taking it the wrong way, taking it about the wrong way. That's what I'm trying to say. Cody, on the other hand, you can kind of see, some people are saying that you're kind of starting to see that Homelander Cody come out a little bit, especially after Monday's confrontation with CM Punk. And all CM Punk did there was shoot with him. He basically told him like it is. He said, "Look, man, I know you're trying to be the big hero. You're trying to be the John Cena of this generation. You're trying to do this. You're trying to do that. You're trying to be friends with everybody, in the company. But the truth of the matter is, you can do all of that other stuff if you want. But the truth of the matter is, as long as you have that championship, you have no friends. And those friends that you do have, they're going to let you know that they're coming for you and they're coming for what you have, and they're going to do it by any means." And I think honestly that's what Cody needed to hear. Cody needed to hear that message, because CM Punk told him straight up, "Hey, I win the Rumble. I'm a friend that's not gonna stab you in the back. I'm a friend that's gonna stab you in the front. I'm gonna, stab you straight up, right in the chest. I'm gonna stab you and stab you and stab you, and everything right in front of your face, into your chest, to get what you have." He was straight up about it. So, honestly, Cody, I think, needed to hear that so he could realize that even after he gets done with Kevin, on Saturday, and he can move forward, he can look forward to, WrestleMania and everything. This is an important lesson that he needs to, to learn, that, yeah, you can be friends with a Kevin Owens. You can be friends with a Randy Orton. You can be friends with a Sami Zayn. You can be friends, with, an Apollo Crews and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, you have to realize that you can be friends with them, but they also want what you have. So you got to keep a close eye on them. In other words, it's that old saying of keep your friends close but your enemies closer. Well, in this case, as WWE Champion, you got to look at your friends as your enemies and keep them very close to you so you can keep an eye on them and see what their next step will be. But the question is obviously who's going to win. Well, obviously these two know how to compete in ladder matches. We know Cody knows how to compete in ladder matches. I mean, his last match in All Elite Wrestling was against Sammy Guevara in a ladder match for the TNT title. So we know he's going to throw some suggestions on what they can do in this match. And we know Kevin can compete in ladder matches. He's competed in Money in the Bank matches. He's competed, I think, in some ladder matches in WWE as well, but not to the extent that everybody knows he can compete in these ladder matches, And basically, people are going to look back to his ladder wars match with Sami Zayn in Ring of Honor when Sami Zayn was El Generico. So, they're going to look about that, and I'm sure he's going to have some input as well, because that's the one thing the wrestlers get to have right now under the Triple H administration, is they get to have more input on how the matches are going to go. So I think these two are going to really steal the show. Them and the tag team match, the tag team title match, I think are going to be the big, non-Royal Rumble show stealers. But in the end, I think we're going to get Cody Rhodes retaining. There's going to be a moment where Kevin's going to hope and call for Sami to come help him. Sami will come out, if he does, and he's going to think about it, but he's not going to help. Because Sami's going to be like, "No, man, I can't help you here. You got to do it on your own. You got to beat Cody on your own and prove to everybody that you're right by yourself." And then that's going to lead to Owens losing the match. And then that's going to have ramifications later on in the night. Now, there is a good offshoot chance they could give it to Kevin Owens. But if they do, I think it would be the same thing with the Motor City Machine Guns. It'll be for 1 month. Kevin will lose it back to Cody at an Elimination Chamber in Toronto. And then you could focus on Cody going up against whoever his challenger is, via the Royal Rumble at WrestleMania. So they could go about it, both ways. But more than likely, they're going to go with the Cody Rhodes direction. because it looks like they've already planted the seeds for how Kevin's going to lose this match and everything going forward. Now, a lot of people have said that this is going to be the last time we see the Winged Eagle belt. I'm not going to be too sure. I think Cody, knowing what he had to go through to win this match, to get both belts, Cody's going to say, look, man, I've always wanted this belt to be back, back around the waist of people. I've always wanted to carry it. I've always wanted this to be the true representation of the WWE Championship. I've always looked at it that way. I want to wear this from now on. I want to hold this belt and make this, once again, the championship. The WWE Championship. So I could see the Winged Eagle belt maybe returning full-time, after Royal Rumble, because Cody's going to be like, look, you could have this one, but I want to keep this, because this is how I truly think the WWE Championship should look like and be represented. So don't be surprised if, after the match, the Winged Eagle belt does make a full-time return, because that's what Cody's been wanting, and they wouldn't be having it be displayed as much, as it's been so far. So do not be surprised if it comes full circle and it does end up full-time or over the shoulder and around the waist of Cody Rhodes. But again, they could go the other way and they could give it to Kevin. That way, Kevin Owens can walk into Toronto as champion and defend it against Cody and then lose it. That could be something they do. Because again, it'd be just like with the Motor City Machine Guns. Give them a 1-month reign, go into and then give it back to Cody. Go into WrestleMania, and Cody can defend against whoever the winner of the Rumble is going to be. So they can go either way. They want Kevin to walk in as champion in Toronto. There you go. There's your opportunity. Give it to him on Saturday. But more than likely, they're going to go with Cody. They're going to go with Cody going into WrestleMania. Now, will we see a rematch maybe at Elimination Chamber? I would say more than likely we will. What kind of match that will be, I do not know. I could see it, because they're doing a ladder match here. I could see Kevin Owens, he's 0-3. He's going to be 0-3. He's going to want one more match. I could see Kevin Owens wanting to face Cody in some kind of very gimmicky, violent match. Maybe, I wouldn't say Hell in a Cell because you got the Chamber. So I would say it has to be something along the lines of either Steel Cage, but again, you got the Chamber. So I would say it has to be something like maybe an underground match. Maybe an underground style match. I don't think they would do that, but I think they'd have to do something. I think logically, to coincide with the fact that you're also going to have the Chamber, but you want to have something to, kind of finish this thing with Owens and Rhodes off. Whether Owens walks in with the championship or not at Elimination Chamber, I think you got to go with maybe something like a fight pit match. You got to go with a fight pit match for the championship to close out this chapter for Cody and Kevin as we go into WrestleMania. But a lot of people are leaning towards Cody winning. I'm going to go in that direction, but I'm not going to be surprised if they do give it to Kevin so he can walk into his home country of Canada in Toronto as the champion and drop it to Cody there. And whatever kind of match they choose to finish off this whole quartet, if you will, of series of matches between them. So I'm going to go with Cody, but I'm not going to be surprised if they go with Kevin. Now, let's get to the Royal Rumble matches themselves. Let's start with the women. Now, we do know who's going to be in it. We know Charlotte. We know Charlotte Flair's going to be in it. Lila Valkyrie. We know Bianca. We know Naomi. We know Jordynne Grace obviously is going to be in it. We know Naomi's going to be in it. Everybody that you would expect, on this current roster for the women, on the main on the SmackDown, Raw, and to an extension NXT rosters, they're going to be in it. So expect Lash Legend to be in there. Expect Jada Parker to be in there, and everything. Just expect a lot of Kiana Jordan to be in there. Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade. Expect them all. Julia. Do not be surprised if she's in there. Do not be surprised if Delta, who goes under another name now in WWE, will be in there. So don't be surprised. You're going to get, a decent amount of women, probably the most amount of names in the Rumble. But the question is, who else will be in there? Well, Becky is obviously going to show up. Becky will obviously show up. I think they might have a couple of TNA talents in there. We know Marsha Slamovich is going to probably show up. If she doesn't, I would be surprised. But if they're showcasing her already and they're getting her in there into a program, cross-branded, cross-promotional branded program with Cora Jade, then I have to say that, we're going to see Marsha Slamovich in there. Who else do I think we'll see in there? I think we're going to see Rosemary. I think we will see Rosemary in there. So, TNA-wise, I think we're going to see Marsha Slamovich, and I think we might see Rosemary, and I think we might see an appearance by Ash by Elegance, FKA Dana Brooke. So, those are the 3 TNA ladies I think that will show up. I think it's going to be basically, Marsha Slamovich. It's going to be, Rosemary. And I think it's going to be Ash by Elegance, FKA Dana Brooke. And hey, if they want to have a powerhouse in there along with the other powerhouses, you might see Savannah Evans. And if they do have Savannah Evans in there, I would say if you really want to, put a twist into this, put a kink into the armor, I would say give her the Diesel spot for the women. I'd say either give the Diesel spot for the women to either Delta, whatever her name is now in NXT, Zara, I think it's in Zara, something like that. I'd say give her the Diesel spot or give it to Savannah Evans from TNA. So those are the 4 actually that I see going in there. Marsha Slamovich, because she's the champ. Rosemary, Ash by Elegance, FKA Dana Brooke, and Savannah Evans. And if they do Savannah, give her the Diesel spot for the women. But the question is, who wins? Who is going to win this? Well, all eyes are pointing towards Charlotte Flair. Charlotte's going to make her return. The question is, will she win? All eyes are pointing towards her because it's obvious because it's already been discussed that they want to do the WrestleMania match between her and Tiffany Stratton. So, this is one way to make it happen. But there's also the Elimination Chamber. But then again, as some people like to troll and joke about, she's Charlotte Flair. She could just say, I want you at WrestleMania. Done. There you go. So, we'll see what happens. But people are picking Charlotte Flair. People are saying Bianca Belair. Some are saying Jordynne Grace is a wild card. Some are saying Io Sky. You got a lot of talent here. You really do. You really got a lot of talent. And, it is hard to kind of look at this and be like, well, who would they likely give it to? And this is the first time I think actually anybody can think of, that it's kind of like hard to decide who would they go with when it comes to who's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble match. But for me, even though I would have to go with, logically, I'd have to go with, Charlotte Flair. I don't know. I mean, it like I said, it's confusing because you got a lot of good choices. But if you really want to shake things up, this is what I look at. This is my shake-up winner. This is the winner that if you really want to shake things up and show that this is a new regime and you're going in a new direction, I'm going to go with one pick that, even Solomonster and JD went with as like a secondary pick, as a wild card pick to shake things up. I'm going to go with Jordynne Grace. I think Jordynne Grace, you've signed her to a multi-year deal. You want her to know that this is the place to be, that we're behind you. You are our next big thing in the women's division. The best way to do that, have her win the Women's Royal Rumble. Have her challenge Rhea Ripley. So I think if I'm going to go with a shake-up wild card pick to win, Jordynne Grace. But if I was to go with a more, in-house, logical, realistic pick, I'm going to go with Io Sky. Yeah, I'm going to go with Io Sky. She seems to be the favorite. So my two picks, honestly, are this. Io Sky, as the most logical in-house pick to go to WrestleMania, or to shake things up and really show that things are unpredictable in WWE and that this is the place to be. My shake-up pick would be Jordynne Grace, and either way, one of them is going to challenge Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. And if they challenge her, I love Rhea Ripley. Who doesn't love mommy, if you will? But I'm going to have to say that if one of them chooses her, Rhea's got to drop the belt. She's got to. She's got to drop the belt to either one of them at WrestleMania. Again, she's shown she can be dominant and everything, but I think her time with the championship, this, second go-around is, going to be short and sweet and dominant, but I think WrestleMania, she's got to drop it to whoever, chooses her for, as the champion they face, at that event. And I'm going to go with either Jordynne Grace, like I said, as my shake-up wildcard pick, or Io Sky as the safe in-house logical pick. And like I said, whoever it is, they're going to challenge Rhea Ripley, and I think Rhea Ripley will drop the title to one of them at WrestleMania. That's the most obvious direction in my opinion. So, shake-up wildcard pick to really show that you don't know what's going to happen and that this is the place to be now. That being WWE, Jordynne Grace is my pick there. Io Sky is the most logical, but logically in-house, realistic, well, not realistic, but most logical in-house safe bet, Io Sky. Shake-up wildcard pick, to be unpredictable, Jordynne Grace. Safe in-your-house pick, Io Sky. But one of them, like I said, is going to challenge Rhea Ripley, and Rhea will drop the belt to one of them at WrestleMania. That's my prediction for the women. Now on to the men. Who is going to win the men's Royal Rumble? This is, as being advertised, and it is true, one of the most star-studded Royal Rumbles for the men in a long time. It is. Roman Reigns, John Cena, Drew McIntyre. I mean, the list goes on and on. So the question is, who wins? Who wins? Well, a lot of people are saying the most logical, safe bet's John Cena. Last Royal Rumble, last year competing, and everything, farewell tour. What better way to go out than to win the Royal Rumble and go to WrestleMania? And that is a possibility. Some are saying CM Punk, which is another strong possibility. And some are also saying Roman Reigns, which can't rule that out. You can't rule that out whatsoever. Some are saying Drew McIntyre. Can't rule that out either. But the question is, who is the most logical choice? Well, first of all, as far as like surprise entries, we know we're going to get Trick Williams in there. Obviously, they got to do a moment between him and Carmelo Hayes during the match, where like Carmelo is like the only one standing. Let's say all the other talents are down and everything. He's the only one standing, and then all of a sudden the buzzer goes off, and then all of a sudden you hear "Whoop that Trick," and just that expression on Carmelo's face as soon as he hears that, it's like, oh no. Just that expression, that moment's going to be huge. And especially with the direction it looks like they're going with Trick right now. Trick is determined to be champion again in NXT, and it looks like the triple threat that they got scheduled for Vengeance Day between Obafemi, Austin Theory, and Grayson Waller is going to become a fatal four-way after next week. But again, we know Trick Williams is going to be in there. We know Obafemi is going to be in there as well. So I think, and here's what I'm thinking, because a lot of people are saying, oh, Jacob Fatu, who's going to be in the match, you got to give him the Diesel spot for the men, right? Where he's chucking people over the top rope, right? I say, yeah, that's a safe bet. But also, if you really want to dominate not dominate, but you really want to signify that you're behind Obafemi and everything as the future of your as the future main eventer in your company, as a guy that as soon as he goes from NXT to Raw or SmackDown, he's an immediate challenger for the top tier title. I think honestly that Diesel spot's got to go to Obafemi, in my opinion. Not Jacob Fatu, Obafemi. You got to give it to him. Now, Again, like I said, we know Trick Williams will be in there. VENMO will be in there. Eddie Thorpe might be in there because, you know, he was recently in the main event, so he'll probably get a chance to shine in there as well. And I think even Ridge Holland. Oh, you got to do Ridge Holland. You got to do Ridge Holland and Tony D'Angelo as well. But Ridge Holland, you get him in there with Pete Dunne and Sheamus. I'm just telling you, you want a moment very similar to what you'll have with Williams and Hayes. There you go. You know, there you go. So, yeah, Holland's going to be in there as well. D'Angelo. You know, Javon Evans has got to be in there. Ethan Page has got to be in there. So, those are names out already from NXT that I think are going to be part of this. And then TNA-wise, obviously you're going to have the TNA champion, Joe Henry, in there. Obviously, you're going to probably have Nick Nemeth come in. Not as Dolph Ziggler, but they'll probably acknowledge that he was formerly known as Dolph Ziggler in the company. Now he just wants to be known as his real name, Nick Nemeth. So Nick Nemeth is going to be in there, whether people want to hear that or not. I think Josh Alexander will be in the match as well. And I think, and this is going to be a surprise as well, I think I think Mance Warner. I think Mance Warner will show up because he's now the digital champion, so why not have him in there? And then I think maybe Sami Callihan. So basically, along with what you already know, along with who you already know, I should say, it's going to be in there. You know, like, you know, Roman, Cena, Penta, CM Punk, you know, Drew McIntyre, and so on. Along with them and many others that you know are going to be part of this already. Like I say, NXT-wise, Trick Williams, VENMO, you know, Ridge Holland, you know, Tony D'Angelo, Javon Evans, Ethan Page from NXT. Those are obvious. TNA-wise, Joe Henry, Josh Alexander. Like I said, Joe Henry, Josh Alexander, Sami Callihan, Mance Warner, and I think maybe even Mustafa Ali and Nick Nemeth. So there you go. There's your TNA representatives right there. Like I said, Joe Henry, Josh Alexander, Mustafa Ali, Mance Warner, Sami Callihan. You know, I think, you know, and Nick Nemeth. Yeah, Nick Nemeth, I think, are going to be in there. So that's 6 TNA stars that are going to be in there, and along with the NXT stars that I mentioned. So you're going to have a very notable, very name-worthy men's Royal Rumble match here. But again, the question is who's going to win. And to me, you know, I'm going to have to go with CM Punk. Because I think, honestly, here's my opinion. I think, honestly, he was going to win last year. I do. I think if it wasn't for his injury, and I think they had to call an audible, he would have won last year. So I think to make up for that, he's going to win this year. He's going to win this year. And I think it'll come down to him. And I think, honestly, the Final Four, I think it's going to come down to him in the Final Four, along with Roman Reigns, John Cena, and I'm going to hit you with a surprise. TNA champion Joe Henry. Bet me. Bet me. Now, I could be wrong. But I'm going to go with Joe Henry as part of the Final Four because, again, shake things up, make it unpredictable, and hey, people are watching, they're going to be, you know, they'll be like, oh my God, would they give it to the TNA champ, Joe Henry? Oh, what a moment that would be. You know, that I think is going to be a Final Four, but I'm going to go with CM Punk winning. Now, Solid Monster and others have thrown it out there that we don't know what the status is of The Rock, the final boss, if you will. You know, what he's doing. A lot of people are saying that, you know, he could show up. You know, he's the boss. He's the final boss. He could change things up if he wants. And, you know, you could have CM Punk or whoever wins the Men's Royal Rumble think they've won. And then all of a sudden the buzzer goes off. And then here's The Rock's music. He comes out in his final boss outfit, or comes out in his wrestling gear. And he announces himself as number 31. And then he goes and eliminates whoever we thought originally won the Rumble to win it himself. And then that's how you set up him and Cody. Now, that could happen. Or maybe he, you know, shows up and everything. You know, you got that Final Four in there. The buzzer goes off, and here comes The Rock at 31. And then The Rock makes it look like he's going to align himself with Roman. He eliminates Roman. And then Roman is shocked by this. He gets angry with The Rock. Rock is yelling at him, saying, that's what you get for failing last year. Now I'm going to finish I'm gonna do what you couldn't, and then that causes Rock to get distracted and he gets eliminated. So, and that could lead us to Roman and Rock. We'll see. But honestly, if that happens, I'm still gonna go with CM Punk because I don't think The Rock's plan is gonna work. I think it's gonna backfire on him. I think it'll backfire on him and everything in some way to where basically he'll either get distracted by Roman after he's eliminated, being shocked like, "What are you doing here? What are you doing?" And The Rock can be like, I'm going to do what you couldn't do, and I'm going to get the belt back. And then maybe Roman's like, wait a minute, you didn't tell me about this. And you could cause there could be some kind of distraction when when Rock gets in to where he still has his attention towards Roman. Roman's still at ringside. It's like, man, you didn't tell me. It's like, why would you lie to me and all that? And that would be enough to distract Rock for Punk to eliminate him. So either way, Rock showing up or not, I'm going to still go with CM Punk. Either Rock shows up as the surprise, quote-unquote, 31 or 31st entry or not, I'm going to go with CM Punk to win. But again, all depends. Now, here's the thing. Even if Rock, even if you go by what Rock said on NXT a couple weeks ago, and you're basing your speculation on, he's going to show up as number 31, don't as the old saying goes, don't count your eggs before they've hatched. So we don't know. He could be also alluding to maybe after Royal Rumble and after Elimination Chamber, and then we got a month or so to build to something at WrestleMania, and everything, and we'll go from there. But we'll have to see. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do. It's going to be interesting to see how they go about this, whether or not they do decide to go with the Rock is going to be a surprise 31 entry, or it's just going to be a plain Royal Rumble. We'll see. I guarantee you, there's going to be a lot of fans in Lucas Oil Stadium that are going to look, towards the entranceway, even after we get down to the final four and the final two. They're going to be looking down that entryway and everything, thinking, "Oh, is he coming? Is he coming?" And you're going to have fans counting down all the time. I guarantee you, going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then nothing. Or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, here he comes. They're going to keep counting down, thinking The Rock's going to show up. And if he doesn't, it'll be like, okay, he got you there. He got you talking. He got you wondering. So that he did his job on that part. But we'll see. But either way, either there's no Rock or there is Rock. I'm going to go still with CM Punk because, like I said, if Rock does do what Solomon says he's going to do and shows up as number 31 and it's during the final four, I could see Rock basically eliminating Roman, making it look like he's lying with Roman, eliminating him, and Rock becomes now part of the new final four. And Roman's mad, he's upset, and this is enough for Rock to get distracted because Rock will, be shooting his mouth off at Roman, being like, basically telling him, I'm going to do what you couldn't do last year. I'm going to beat Cody, and I'm going to get the belt back, and that's going to be enough to distract Rock, and then that would be the building blocks towards him and Roman at WrestleMania. But if it does come down to the fact that, hey, whoever wins, like CM Punk thinks they won, all of a sudden, you hear the buzzer, and now comes The Rock. I could still see Rock being eliminated because, again, he could come out and Roman, if let's say Roman's the last one Punk eliminates, he sees this, he could be confused. Rock could just, again, look at him and say, I'm going to do what you failed to do last year, at WrestleMania. And Roman could still be confused. He could be at ringside again, arguing with The Rock, even when it looks like Rock's on the verge of eliminating Punk, and Punk can then basically take it to an advantage and eliminate The Rock. We'll see. But honestly, to me, either way, I'm going to go with CM Punk. But those are my predictions, guys, for the Royal Rumble this Saturday. Again, I think Motor City Machine Guns are going to win the championships and have it only up to Elimination Chamber to whether they'll lose it back to DIY or they might lose it to somebody else. In this case, could be the Street Profits or Pretty Deadly. We'll see. I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes to retain the championship against Kevin Owens, thanks to Sami Zayn not, helping Kevin the way Kevin would want. But again, I'm not against the fact that they might give it to Kevin, so Kevin walks into Canada his home country as champion next month. So I'm not against that, but I'm going to lean more towards Cody winning. And I think this is going to be, along with the tag match, the two show stealers outside of the Rumble matches of the night. These two are going to be match of the night candidates, period. Or if not match of the year, period, candidates after it's all said and done. And then as far as the women's Rumble match goes, I'm going to go shake-up wildcard winner being Jordynne Grace to really shake things up and show that, hey, you never know what's going to happen, and this is the place to be. So I'm going to go with her as the wildcard out of nowhere shake-up winner. And I think she'll challenge Rhea Ripley and beat Rhea for the title at WrestleMania. And the same goes with the safe in-house pick that I'm going with, and that being Io Sky. So either Jordynne Grace or Io Sky, I think, is going to win, and one of them will challenge not one of them, but both. Whoever wins is going to challenge Rhea Ripley, and they're going to beat her at WrestleMania in what will be a classic matchup. And then as far as the men go, I think CM Punk's going to win, either whether or not we have a Rock appearance as the 31st century or not. CM Punk, I think, still going to win, and that's going to lead to Punk, and that's going to lead to Punk challenging for either championship, and that's going to be a great build as well, because Punk, with that opportunity in his hands, he could show up on SmackDown, he could show up on Raw, heck, he can even tease showing up on NXT and going after that belt, because we've seen that happen before. So he's gonna, you're gonna have basically a gold mine with that. You're gonna have a gold mine with that, and Punk, I've got a feeling he's gonna have some fun, with that opportunity, in my opinion. But I'm gonna go with CM Punk either way. But if they do go with Rock, then obviously that means we're gonna get Rock and Cody. But I think if Rock shows up and Punk still wins, it's gonna be because Roman, will be distracting Rock. Either if Rock eliminates him, if Rock shows up during the Final Four. It makes it a Final Five, and The Rock eliminates him and makes it a new Final Four, and Roman distracts him, and all that. Or I could also see Rock coming out after, Punk eliminates Roman as the last one. Punk thinks he's won. Roman's shocked to see Rock coming out, and Rock telling him, I'm going to finish what you couldn't do. And Roman stays at ringside, and Rock's kind of showing him, kind of getting cocky a little bit, talking trash, and and Roman's like, what are you doing? You didn't tell me, and all that. And this is enough for, again, like I said, Punk to take advantage and eliminate Rock from the Rumble, and Punk would still win. So either way, Punk's going to win this. And again, I think WWE and Punk are going to have fun with, him choosing, do I go after Gunther? Do I go after Cody? Do I go after Obi-Femi? He's going to have some fun. But guys, that's about it for my predictions and previews for this Saturday's Royal Rumble. What do you all think about them? Comment down below. Like the video. Comment in the live chat if you would like as well. Super Chats will be on during that. Super Chats, I should say, will be on during that. During the premiere, I should say, of this prediction video. And a super thanks will also be ongoing after the premiere is over. But guys, give me your thoughts on everything I've had to say here. Who do you think's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble and the Men's Royal Rumble? Do you agree with my picks and maybe some of my scenarios of how they're going to happen, mostly with the men? And also, what are your thoughts on my picks for the championship matches? Do you agree with them? Do you not agree with them? What are your thoughts overall? I'd love to hear from each and every one of you on this, and where your mindset is going into Saturday. But guys, like I said, like the video, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, click on the links in the description to find my content elsewhere. You can find me on all your favorite audio and video podcast affiliates, where you will get a podcast version of this as well. You can find me at iHeartRadio, iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, Audible, Radio Public, wherever there is a podcast aired, wherever a podcast are aired and featured, more than likely you will find me there as well. Also, check me out at rumble.com at BW Roses. Check me out at odyssey.com, BW Roses. VENMO.com at BW Roses. Also, check me out at divanart.com at BVW1979 and inkbunny.net at BW Roses. Also, check out the Teespring store, guys. Link is in the description for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. Also, check me out at twitter.com at BW Roses and at blueskies.com at BW Roses as well. And I might be looking into a True Social one down the line in the future. But guys, that's my predictions and previews for the Royal Rumble this Saturday. Let me know if you agree with any of it. And until then, I am out.